So, what animal is mentioned in the movie Moneyball that Billy Bean, the main character, is compared to? We have a gorilla, a chimpanzee, a baboon, or a monkey. Patreon.com/The Walk Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there. Poll went out to the Patreon. Lots of people voted. I think close to 30 votes on that. Moneyball is what we're doing this week. 78% voted for Moneyball.
Joel's going to be ecstatic.
Joel's going to help me write the questions. I'm telling you that right now. Ian won the first round of Moneyball. We did Major League. Got himself a nice fitted cap out of that. So congratulations there. Reminder, we are doing a running tally all season long. So any months you get into at the start of the season here are going to help you win the big grand prize in December. A nice Blue Jays jersey and some stuff like that. But prizes every month as well. Okay. I got ChatGPT to help me write a question. Are you ready for this?
Okay. I am.
So I spent probably 3 hours writing 30 questions for Major League, which we did January 28th, January 30th. Anyways, doesn't matter. January's trivia night. I spent a lot of time coming up with these trivia questions. I figured, you know what? I'm going to do like every grade 12 student in the world right now, and I'm going to use ChatGPT to cheat a little bit. So here's the prompt I gave ChatGPT just this morning. I said, write me an obscure and funny trivia question for the movie Moneyball with 4 multiple choice answers and tell me which answer is correct. So I'm going to relay this to you, okay?
Sure.
I'll give you all 4 choices and we'll see how well you do. So what animal is mentioned in the movie Moneyball that Billy Bean, the main character, is compared to? We have a gorilla, a chimpanzee, a baboon, or a monkey.
Oh, man. See, I can see Billy Bean as all those. I'm going to say a gorilla.
Correct answer, according to ChatGPT, a baboon.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, ChatGPT is way smarter than I am, so.
Yeah, you and me both, my friend. You and me both. All right. Speaking of 2 idiots talking baseball, let's dissect this Bo Bichette deal.
Yeah.
3 years. Bought out the arbitration. It's not an extension, although I guess that is the term that is technically used.
Yeah.
How you feel about it? Let's just start with that.
I think it's a fair offer.
Yeah.
It's gonna go cost certainty for the next 3 years really helps. Because you never know which way arbitration is gonna go. It's not like the old days where the arbiter could just like split it down the middle or whatever. It's the player or the team. That's it. So, and like this season there was a $2.5 million difference. Who's to say next year it wasn't a $6.5 million difference? And like that $6.5 million, that's pretty big when you're trying to construct a roster. So knowing what you have to pay for the next 3 years is good. It also I don't know, like I'm sure they've talked about long-term deals, but maybe they haven't. It goes a long way. Like for the next 3 years, they don't have to sit in a room and talk shit about each other.
Yeah, I know. That's a nice thing, isn't it? They don't have to get together in February and say, actually, here's why you're not worth what you think you are.
Yeah.
Look at how bad your defense is. So they can just be nice for 3 years. I like it.
Yeah, like they can just, and I mean, I don't think like Bo, he's teachable, but I don't think he's a guy that loves getting criticized. You know what I mean? Like he's an alpha dude, he's like, like, I know I'm working on it. You don't need to keep rubbing it in my face. So I think that it's just going to make things a lot smoother. We don't have to even talk about his contract now for at least 2 years. So
I'm so encouraged though by the fact that $33.6 million with performance-based elevators, right? So I'm sure there'll be bonuses structured in. He leads the league in hits again. There's another $500,000.
They said it could be up to like 40.
Right. So that's when I think it was the Andrew Stoughton on his Substack had kind of made the comparisons with Carlos Correa, Javi Baez, and Trey Turner.
Yeah.
And Trey Turner, over the last 3 years of his arbitration, made around, I think, 41 million. Whereas
Yeah.
guys like Carlos Correa and Javi Baez, who were at kind of a similar point in their first year of arbitration, then had some statistical drops and only ended up making around 25 million. So it does
Yeah.
feel like this is a, hey, we'll split it down the middle. We'll meet in
Yep.
the middle. And I think that's got to be like a reason to be optimistic, is that
Yeah.
both teams
Yeah.
were
Like,
willing to compromise for once.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
especially after last year where Bo Bichette declined the team structured raise and just took the league minimum or whatever. It felt like a spite move, and it felt like some animosity and
Well,
some
it was.
posturing and stuff
It
like that.
was. Like,
And for all the narrative out there that, well, Bo's going to bet on himself and he's going to take every dollar he possibly can. Like, you can't ignore the fact that this is not that. This is not him
yeah.
saying, look, I am going to crush for 3 years straight. I'm going to be healthy for 3 years straight, and I'm going to get, what could have been $45 million over the next 3 years in arbitration, if he was truly betting on himself. So
But
again,
that's why it's a negotiation. Like
Mhm.
it's like if Bo could have bet on himself, and then Bo
Yeah.
could also blow out his ACL this season.
Yep.
So like you have to take some of that financial security into account when you're signing
Totally.
these deals. Like Bo now is. I mean, he was always set for life. His dad made over 100 million, but I mean, independent of that, he is financially set now.
Well,
And
I just felt up until this week that there was like, he was never going to take a deal or even have a consideration of a deal where we're
yeah,
offering him 9 figures over 10 plus
yeah,
years and
yeah,
at
no.
any sort of a discount. He would not take let's just throw a low number out there, 250 million over whatever,
No,
10
he
years,
wasn't
right?
taking it.
He wasn't going to take that because he realizes, no, I can make 300, I can make 400. If I
Yeah,
if I really
and he will.
maximize everything. He will if he really maximizes things. But this is, I think, a little window into the fact that, like, maybe you could get, a 280 or some kind of $1 million deal where we just buy out his whole career or something. And he goes, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
that's
like,
that's a nice secure $280 million. I'm just pulling these numbers out, but you know
yeah,
what I'm
no,
getting
like
at, right?
that's a great point. I think this allows the Jays to kind of negotiate in good faith with Bo now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not they're not negotiating from the well, you've airmailed 20 throws to Vlad last year, so we're going to hold that against you. Like
Right.
this opens it up, saying like, listen, like we value you. We need to like mend any tiny rifts that might be brewing now. Like you're our starting shortstop for the next 3 years. We can take a breather. We can go from there. But I mean, like this doesn't guarantee a long-term deal, but it also takes a lot of stress off the team and off Bo for a couple of seasons. Like going into that last year of arbitration, obviously guys like you and me are going to be like, are they going to re-sign him? Are they going to trade him? But that's 2 years away now, so I'm good with that.
It also makes him pay with a contract that is more representative of the caliber of player he is. And I know that, like, the pre-arb years, it's universal across the board, and it is what it is. But last year he made 800,000,
Yeah,
and then he watches
that's
in like the international free agent pool where the Blue Jays hand out $4 million to a 16-year-old, and like, I
yeah.
know that that's just like how Major League Baseball operates, and it is what it is, but that also has to be frustrating.
Oh,
So
man,
now, even
that's
to just go into the season and be like, yeah, I make it. I know it's like, I think it's 6 years or sorry, 6 million in the first year, and then it does grow. But essentially, he's like, look, I'm making like 11 million a year over the next 3 years. That's a substantial pay raise for him, and
yeah. Like
that's got to be
imagine
a good feeling.
you going into work and saying we're going to pay you 13 times what you made last year. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So
Yeah.
hopefully the season works out for him. I have a lot of confidence that defensively he's going to take some big strides.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. We
we
we we talked about it before about how like banning the shift I think is going to help Bo because
yeah,
he does throw better when his feet are moving. So if he has to use his range, I think that's going to benefit him. It's just it's the I have too much time on my hands
mhm.
throws that just kill
Yeah,
him.
get him out of his own head, make him out there having
Yep,
fun. I mean,
yep,
hopefully with the shift across the board, all positions defensively, this leads to more athletic plays, more highlights. And
yeah,
when that sort of stuff's happening, you're having fun too, right? Like when you're Bo Bichette and you're taking, 14 steps and diving for that hard grounder up the middle and you get it. It's like, oh yeah. And you just
yeah,
feel
man.
like amazing.
Well, like neither of us are pro athletes, but
We've
we
all
can
picked up a
probably
hot
remember.
grounder in a slow pitch game and felt
Yeah,
pretty
like
good coming
yeah,
off the field. So
yeah, exactly. So
I think it's good. It'll be good for him. I'm optimistic. And again, this is also based on a little bit of like historic development. Like, you don't have a lot of good defensive shortstops at age 24 and younger. Like,
no,
they're pretty rare. So coming into this season, 4 years in the league now, I'm really optimistic. I hope I'm right about this. Um, Bo Bichette, 3-year deal with the Blue Jays. Vladdy, you're on deck, buddy.
15-year.
15-year. Hey, there you go. Okay. We're going to talk some simple ways that baseball can get out of its own way when it comes to marketing itself and
Yeah,
improving the fan experience, which is really who pays the bills at the end of the day, right? Uh,
yeah.
I know you sent me your list of 5, and we'll get to them. But one of my biggest gripes, and I know there's reasons why they do it, but it's blackouts, right?
Oh, yeah. That's
Like if I'm paying $99 a month or a year or whatever my script subscription is to MLB TV, and then I can't watch Blue Jays games on it
yeah,
just because I live in Canada. Like, and I understand again from uh, contract issues, and it's a leverage play so that Sportsnet can broadcast and it increases the value of that. I get it, but blackout restrictions drive me nuts. If I'm on the West Coast and I want to watch a Mariners game, but I can't because I live in BC, that's a big gripe of mine. One way you can get around this problem: get a VPN. NordVPN.com slash walkoff. Thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring the show. You can support us by supporting our sponsors. So go to NordVPN.com slash walkoff and sign up there. Trick your device into thinking you're not in Canada, and then your blackout restrictions don't apply. If you're tuning in to MLB.com and your device thinks you're in Seattle, well, then you can watch your Blue Jays games all you want. So NordVPN, incredible value there. Special offer. It is 11 years of NordVPN. Happy birthday to them. They're not asking for presents, though. They're giving presents out. So everybody that signs up on a 2-year plan will receive an additional subscription bonus, a mystery box of 3 months up to a year of additional free VPN services. So go to nordvpn.com/walkoff and support us by supporting our sponsors. Thanks again to NordVPN for supporting the show.